Hey, shop gals and guys out there. Thank you so much for joining me, your host, Amani K. Brown, the tattoo priestess and brand maven, for another episode of Shop Gal Diaries. Before we dig into this particular episode, I want to invite you to head over to Shop Gal Diaries on Substack and subscribe there, where we'll engage more. The community is there. We'll have lives. That's where the clubhouse is. That's just where the club is. So that you know, if you are new to Shop Gal Diaries, we explore um, creativity, craft, and cultural stewardship rooted in Black tattoo culture. So while it is in Black tattoo culture, we also explore entrepreneurship and what all of those things look like the nice little intersection of 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 um of Black tattoo culture and entrepreneurship, but in that being able to uncover and discover creativity, craft, and cultural stewardship. That helps beyond tattoos. So you don't have to get tattooed. You don't have to wish to get tattooed. You don't have to pray to get tattooed. You don't have to tell me about how much you don't like tattoos to be able to engage with our content, with the stories, and with the experiences that are shared there, the think pieces and the cultural philosophy. So don't count yourself out just because it says tattoo. Tattoo is not all bad. In fact, you might discover that through Shop Gal Diaries, that tattoo is a lot more cultural than what you've been programmed to believe. So I invite you to come along on these journeys with these stories, with these philosophies, with these creative think pieces. Until then, go subscribe and let's dig in to today's podcast. All right, I'll see you there. Hey, hey, shop gals and guys out there. How are you? I hope everything is well. As you can see, I am in the studio today. Well, you can see if you're visiting and you are listening and tuning in from Substack, you probably cannot see if you are on YouTube or any of the other platforms, Spotify and all that good stuff, which means that if you want to see my pink ass studio, the cuteness that is Little Ink Play Shop, please, please, please visit me over at Substack or just go to littleinkplayshop.com where you can see the innards of this beautiful, beautiful space of tattoo wellness, healing, and just rejuvenation and refreshments and all the shits. Anyway, it has been a trying ass week, okay? So that is why we are delayed this week. We are not denied, just delayed. I had to take care of some emotional stuff. And if you know anything about me, then you know that I will pause every fucking thing to make sure I am well before I continue. Mostly because that's what I preach in tattoo. So I have to actually practice what I preach. Um, so with that, I had to slow the fuck down, instead of just trying to keep going with the program. I had to slow the fuck down and just check in on me and my own emotional, spiritual, and mental wellness, which was kind of the fuck all over the place. So yeah, so did that. I'm back and we are ready for this episode. This particular episode, we'll be talking about crafting your way back to yourself, which is something that I think is a very important conversation because a lot of times, in day-to-day life, we lose ourselves. A lot of people put down their creativity. A lot of people will put it on pause, will say, no, there are other things that need to be done. And yes, yes, all of that stuff is valid, because you got to make a living. You probably got to tend to the kids. You got to tend to the house. You got to tend to yourself, right? But intending to yourself, maybe one of the things that you want to do is go back to your dreams, go back to the things that you want to see happen for you and not lose yourself in the day-to-day hustle, in the day-to-day grind, all of that good stuff. I can tell you, as someone who has once lost herself in the day-to-day hustle and grind, the shit is not fun and it does not feel good. And it is actually part of the reason for my own mental instabilities, honestly. My mental instabilities, part of them have come literally because being in the day-to-day grind of life, I I forgot about me and I forgot about my gifts, right? And my gifts are what I use to converse with God. It is what I use to connect with myself. It is what I use to connect with what we call Ori, with my head, inner and outer, to get clarity, all of those good things. So we're going to talk about that today. But before that, let me show you some kick-ass shit because your girl is coming into herself. I'm really proud of myself. Right, right, right. And I want to show you my new website. Okay. We're going to go to it from Little Ink Play Shop because I want to type it in. Because I want you to see all the effects and stuff. HeyMoneyKBrown.com, right? Look at it. Hello. Um, so just so you guys know, I have been on this journey to make sure that I am well represented, and that what I look like online is very, very close. um, it's not going to be exact because you can shape things online, but very, very close to me in person and all of that good stuff. Also, because I needed a page that is more of a CV, where you can see me, the artist, the practitioner, scholar, not just Little Ink Play Shop, right? That's my work. But but who is I, right? So hello, I'm Imani K. Brown, Oshun Yoyin, Weird to Wealth life coach and cultural steward of tattoo lineage. I'm very, very excited about this page. I'm very, very excited about this journey. I am very, very excited about all the things, right? So I would invite you to ImaniKBrown.com. That's IMANI, middle initial K, like Kellogg's, brown like the color.com, all one word. Pull up, see what your girl is into, see what my offerings are, see how I can help. So if you want to connect, if you're like, oh my God, I love her podcast, I love her brain, I love how she's thinking, oh, you can see how I can help, from coaching programs, to my memoir, to tattoos, and you can see what I'm actually up to as a practitioner scholar. And what I've done. So my documentation, press, and publications, like all of the things are here. Everything is here. So you can get to know me, beyond Substack, beyond these conversations, beyond me letting you know about coaching programs or anything like that. So I'm very, very excited because it feels like your girl's hermit season is over. It's over. So, with that, let's get into crafting your way back to yourself. This is pretty much notes on how Black creatives use craft as survival, as devotion, and as a dialogue with God, which I think is very, very important. So let me just jump into story time right quick because I love a good story. I remember the day at Clark Atlanta University at the cafeteria. A friend casually said, "When I feel like cutting, I get a tattoo instead." And I paused mid spoon, like literally like mid eating. I was eating Fruit Loops, which is why I had a spoon. Thinking, wait. Tattooing instead of self-harm, that was the first spark that would transform my own survival into ritual, my pain in a conversation with the divine. And I'm going to go ahead and note here that one of the reasons why I keep telling this story is because tattoo is very much a tool for wellness, healing, and liberation. And I want you guys to really, really get that when it comes to my tattoo work, brand work. Tattoo work led me to my brand work, which both of them are for healing and liberation, to be able to see yourself. So, for many of us, creativity isn't just making something beautiful. It is, in fact, a lifeline. It's survival. It's a dialogue with God, with the ancestors, and our own soul. And for Black folk, especially, that lifeline has been coded in our heritage, whispered through bodies, and preserved in the rituals of apprenticeship and craft. Again, very important to note because as we try to get away from apprenticeships, and you can go back to my conversation with a lawyer about apprenticeships, but a lot of times we try to get away from these traditional foundations, but these are the things that are of us that really, really help us converse and help us find clarity. And they should not be shunned, they should not be tucked away. Even in you finding your own way, they should be used for those things. So the first thing that I always say you should do is, one, say yes to your dreams. From the moment we recognize our gifts, tattooing, painting, writing, music, we hold a key. A key to unlock dialogue with the creator and with ourselves. In Hoodoo, we honor ancestral guidance with also honoring the spark within us. This spark is why your craft exists. It is not just talent, it is survival technology. I say it all the time when people ask me how I came to tattoo, the ancestors gave it to me. I wasn't looking for that shit. And then I also wasn't looking to become a tattoo artist. The ancestors gave it to me. This is why my craft exists, and this is why I exist within the craft. So for me, the realization came in the darkest corners of my freshman year: tension, headaches, anxiety, panic, self-harm, and it felt like a storm I couldn't outrun. And yet tattooing appeared not as an aesthetic pursuit, but as life-preserving ritual. My first tattoo became a personal altar, a tangible declaration. I see you, I see me, and I choose life. One day I will tell y'all the story about what my first tattoo actually is. Um, Maybe I'll tell you in the next conversation, but what my first tattoo actually is. Um, and yeah, what it means to me. Um, what that experience was like, all that good stuff. I have a chapter in my book about it, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about my first tattoo. Get clear on your intention, goals, and boundaries is the next thing that I would normally say that you should do, right? Your craft asks for devotion, not for likes, not for applause, and not for social validation, which is what most people often chase. But as a ritual of gratitude, it is a way of saying thank you to the ancestors, thank you to God for these gifts to be able to have them to converse, right? Each line drawn, each mark etched, each creation offer is a sacred thank you. I honor my ancestors, I honor my gifts, and thus I honor myself. In Black tattoo culture, apprenticeship is more than technique, it's a discipline, presence, and reverence. It asks, are you willing to show up when it hurts, when no one watches, when it's inconvenient? Apprenticeships and gratitude are gratitude in motion, a living ritual where skill and spirit converge. And the wild thing about that is that most people think apprenticeships are like going to school, like you pay for the space, or you've been given the space, you're going to be given a textbook. Apprenticeships are more about character development more than it is about technique development, and most people miss that. Your technique develops through your apprenticeship, yes, but that's not the main point of it. The main point of it is actually character development because that is the longevity that's going to take you through any craft that you have. Hey, Shop Gals, just a pause for the cause. I trust that you have already subscribed. If you have not subscribed, please go to ImaniKBrown.com and subscribe to our Substack. So Shop Gal Diaries is on Substack, and the absolute easiest way to get there is by using my actual name, Imani, Imanik, like craft, craft cheese, and brown like the color. So ImaniKBrown.com. Please get there. Please become a part of the community so that we can engage more, so that we can build deeper relationship and have deeper conversations. If you are already subscribed, today is the day that I'm going to invite you to become a paid subscriber because we're going to be intentionally building this community um, in a way that I hadn't planned to. It wasn't on my bingo card. Um, but it is necessary if we want to have these conversations. You becoming a paid subscriber helps to support this podcast and to support the work that I do, and to support the community. It also supports more than anything my nonprofit, Black Tattoo Anthology. So not only would you be supporting the podcast and my work, you will be supporting another young emerging Black tattoo artist. So get there. Again, it's ImaniKBrown.com. Subscribe to the Substack. And if you have already subscribed, become a paid subscriber. If you are new to the Substack, subscribe and then become a paid subscriber. And I'll meet you on the other side. Let's get back to it. African tattooing traditions reflect this philosophy centuries before us. Among the Yoruba, tattoos weren't just decorative, they were metaphysical contracts, spiritual tools, and social codes. Learning under a master wasn't optional, it was initiation, sacred inheritance, and an education in survival. I will also note that this also happens in Fulani and Bini tribes, but because because of my study, we will always often focus on Yoruba tattoo culture, just so you know. I just want to put that note out there. The next thing, if you are a creative and you're feeling kind of lost and you need to craft your way back to yourself, is to start manifesting things out loud through marketing. That can look like this. Literally, a cool podcast, diary entries. There's so many ways that you can manifest out loud with marketing. Craft alone does not sustain you. It must be manifested into the real world, right? So you can't just craft on the back end and just expect for people to know, or you're quietly crafting unless it's for you. And even still, I would still say share it, right? Because then you are putting that prayer out and you're putting it out loud. So speak your truth, share your work, let people witness the devotion poured into your craft. Recognition, opportunity, and money are byproducts of all of this. Yes, but also confirmations that your labor, your lineage, and your voice actually matters. So it is you validating yourself, which is why you don't need to do it for applause. You don't need to do it for head pats or anything like that. You need to do it to show up for yourself. That's it. For Black creatives, economic stewardship is spiritual. Practicing your craft intentionally resists systems that undervalue Black labor and reclaims wealth stolen by colonial extraction. Every intentional exchange is resistance, remembrance, and legacy. So remember that. Last but not least, the most important thing you need to do is fucking execute. Show the fuck up for yourself by fire or by force. And this is where I think a lot of artists, a lot of creatives, a lot of pro dev folk, a lot of spiritualists, a lot of us in general, when we don't have clarity, or we are questioning things around what we're doing, we don't show up. Eric, the hip hop preacher, often says that execution is worshiped, that a lot of creatives are stuck living in a nightmare because they won't execute. Not because they won't dream. The dream is free, honey. The hustle's so separate. I got a chapter on that too. But but they won't execute. So your craft is not just your career, it is therapy, it is altar, it is inheritance. Apprenticeship is essential. Discipline is medicine, ritual is gratitude, skill is prayer. In my over 16 years, it's almost 23 years now of tattooing. Every setback was a lesson. Every sketch was a ritual, is a ritual because I still practice. Showing up consistently for yourself is radical. It keeps the spirit alive when the world tries to silence it. It is how we survive, thrive, and reclaim ancestral power. I'm going to give you a note right now because I started this conversation letting you know that the past week has been one of the most trying weeks recently. Oh my gosh. The way I have wanted to give up. I've wanted to give up so bad and just be like, I just hands up, right? But when it comes to executing, the things that I want for myself aren't going to happen. One, they're not going to happen easy. Two, they're not going to happen by me giving up. All that's going to happen by me giving up is sitting there and being like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And now I got shame, guilt, and all these other negative emotions because I didn't just show up by fire or by force, right? Um, I let an opportunity go awry. I didn't show up for my community and for my online community, just to say, hey, proof of life, or just check in. I didn't market for tattoos, and I know I need money. Whatever the case may be, there's so much that you could just say, well, it's easier for me to give up. It's easier for me not to. It's easier for me to do this instead of that. But I need you to execute on your dreams, friend. I need you to execute on what it is that you say that you want to see happen for yourself. And I'd be the bitch to hold you accountable, just so you know. So that's pretty much it. We are going to go over this right quick. The key insights in this, in case you missed them, in case anything went over your head. Creativity is not performance, it is prayer. Your gift is a key to direct conversation with God. I repeat, your gift is a key to direct conversation with God. Weirdness is your divine fingerprint. People will talk about your authenticity. When we talk about authenticity, we're talking about your weirdness, your quirks. What makes you you? What makes you different? That's your secret sauce, boo. Your craft speaks a unique language meant only for you, and you meaning your own universe, and you want to share that language with the world. You come with your own culture embedded in you. Share that shit. Gratitude transforms pain into ritual. Apprenticeship turns burden into blessing, grief into offering. Apprenticeship you can replace with mentorship, you can replace with coaching, support, any of those things. But essentially, any type of container that allows you to start shaping yourself, that would challenge you to shape your character, are the things that turn your burden into blessing. So if you're like, I don't need a mentor, or I don't want mentorship, or I don't want to pay for mentorship, whether it's an apprenticeship for tattooing, an apprenticeship for you to build your brand, an apprenticeship for you to tighten up and deepen your spirituality, whatever it is, please know that that apprenticeship is going to turn whatever it is that you find heavy into something lighter. It's going to turn it into something useful, and it's going to turn it into something executionary, right? So remember those things when it comes to being able to say yes to your dreams, get unequivocal and be clear as shit, manifest out loud, and execute and show the fuck up for yourself by fire or by force. Your craft can save your life. I am here to tell you that as a master tattoo artist who came in as a cutter. Your craft can save your life. Your creativity becomes your altar, your apprenticeship, your learning, whatever your learning is. Let's just underscore learning. Whatever your learning is, into learning it and into mastering what it is that you do, what it is that you are able to share with the world, right? That is your ritual. Your devotion is your persistence, your refinement, and your unapologetic commitment. This is how you survive and reclaim ancestral power. I want you to be able to reflect on that. I want you to take as long as you need, take a long time to reflect on that. And then I would also say take this moment to journal. So a journal prompt, an easy journal prompt that you can use is, what conversation is your art having with God right now? For me, my art often has conversations about my joy, my happiness, and my blessings, wanting to meet me, rush to meet me, not me having to go search for them, to chase them or anything like that. But from the time I open my eyes, that my blessings will rush to meet me. They will rush to greet me in the morning, right? So think about that. What conversation is your art having with God right now? That's it for this week. Next week, I'll go ahead and make a note. I will tell you about my first tattoo, and what lessons it taught me. Okay, what lessons my first tattoo taught me in terms of my own culture of gratitude. I think that is a fun space. I think that is something that you would probably enjoy, because there are a lot of people considering maybe getting a tattoo these days, all that good stuff. But what does it mean to get your first tattoo? And what does that mean in terms of the culture of gratitude? So let's talk about it next week. I hope to see you there. Until then, please know that Shop Gal Diaries is monetized now. The tattoo rants, raves, and rituals part. So if you know about me and my work with Black Tattoo Anthology, we are fundraising. We are on the road to fundraising for the year so that we can have some grant money for our fellowships for Black Tattoo Anthology artists and creatives to be supported, so that their work can be supported as they support their own communities and such. So, with that, please know that I invite you to, one, subscribe, and then two, upgrade your subscription. All monies go towards our grant fundraising efforts for Black Tattoo Anthology. And also, it's not that you don't get anything in return. We will be doing more coaching, life coaching, But also, if you are into the history of tattoo, of Black tattoo culture, we will have more about tattoo and wellness in that space. Not tattoo and entrepreneurship or creativity and entrepreneurship, but tattoo and wellness. So we'll be talking more about that. And I'll be hosting more think tanks, more community convenings around tattoo and wellness, what that looks like in terms of tattoo for liberation, tattoo for healing and restoration. And that is the jam. So with that, I hope to see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this piece. As always, please comment, please share, please subscribe, please upgrade, and please engage. Let me know what you got, and I will see you next time. As always, I'm rooting for you. Gambate ne, and I will see you soon. Jane. All right, shop gals and guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you back for the next one. If you have not already subscribed or become a paid subscriber of Shop Gal Diaries, please feel free to do that today, like expeditiously, like yesterday. I am your host, Amani K. Brown, the Tattoo Priestess and Brand Maven. I am always around on Substack. You can ask me anything. You can slide into my DMs, ask me questions. If you enjoyed this particular episode, leave comments. Let me know, little love notes and stuff. Let me know what touched you and what part of the conversation really spoke to you, right? You can find my offers on Substack at imanikbrown.com, my life coaching and business mentorship offers. You can also find me for tattoo at littleinkplayshop.com. There's also a link for that at imanikbrown.com. So if you're looking for a mentor, a life coach, or a business mentor, I am your gal. And if you are looking to get tattooed, especially large pieces, you want some quality, wholesome ink therapy, I am also your gal. So you can find all of those things at imanikbrown.com, and I look forward to seeing you soon. As always, I am rooting for you. Gambate ne, and I will see you later. Jane. Listen to yourself, believe in yourself, and keep going. That's pretty much all you need.